Hello everybody, I'm Mr. Rob and this is my very first YouTube video, and we'll be discussing C# delegates today, and over the next few videos in the series will be a deeper explanation of delegates and their different reasons for using delegates. The reason I'm creating these videos is because I know I had some trouble wrapping my head around delegates, and hopefully these will be a more fun way to explain delegates and help other people understand how to use a delegate and when to use one. So let's first start off with a program called the Universal Translator. It's a console program, and it's going to translate users what they type in into Klingon, Cardassian, and Romulan. And we'll first do it the normal way that I might do it without using delegates. And I'm just going to cut and paste most of this code here, only because it'll be quicker and creating methods and everything. This isn't a video about explaining how to create methods or what switch does or anything like that. So here we have a console we're writing to the console saying enter the word to translate. It gets fed into the input word string, whatever the user types, and then the toKlingon method will be called, and it will print to the console line depending on what the user types, whether it's honor or success. If it's nothing, nothing will print to the console line. And so what we normally would do here is we do a call the toKlingon method with the word the user typed in, input word. So it calls the method with the string parameter and sends it to the toKlingon method, and then it gets it determines what the user said or typed, and then if it's not there, then it just defaults break. So we'll run that right now, and we'll type in the word success, and we get Kapla. Now if we want to do the same thing for multiple methods, multiple translations, we have a toRomulan here, and then a toCardassian. And excuse me if my translations are wrong, I apologize. I looked it up on Google and hopefully they're right. And then toCardassian, honor and success, well, it's obvious because they're Cardassians. So let's go ahead and call those methods now. toRomulans with the input word the user typed, toCardassian with the input word user typed. Man, typing's bad today. So now it's going to call each of these methods sequentially. So I type in success, you get the translations for all three. Now, for a delegate, let's explain what a delegate is first. A delegate is a type-safe function pointer that holds a reference to a method. So this being a method, it would hold a reference to that method so that when you invoked it, it would be like calling the method. So the first thing we have to do when we do delegates, and I'll explain all this as I'm going through it. The first thing we do when we create delegates is that we have to declare the delegate. So let's declare a delegate at the top. And let's go ahead and make the return type void, call it translate, and use the string parameter for word. So what this says here is that we're going to be creating a delegate, and in that delegate, it has to match the method that it's being referencing. So that's the main key here with delegates, is that the signature of the delegate has to match the signature of the method it's going to be referencing. So if I'm calling the toKlingon method, for example, if I'm referencing it with the delegate, it has to have a void return, just like the delegate, and a string parameter, just like the delegate. If it does not, you cannot reference this method. And I'll show you that as soon as when we get further in. So So that's the first key. The first key is to declare the delegate and make sure that the signature is going to match the methods you want to um, reference. And then we instantiate the method, or I'm sorry, instantiate the delegate. We do that here. We'll call it language. So we're assigning that object to the translate delegate, and then we're going to reference it to the toKlingon method. So now what we're doing here is we're saying that this language delegate is going to reference the toKlingon method, so that when we invoke it, it is like we're invoking the method itself. So I can do a language. Now you can do a language to invoke, but you don't need to do that anymore, and you can just say because it's referencing the Klingon to Klingon, you don't have to say what anymore other than the invoke itself, because it knows what it's referencing. But we don't need the invoke anymore. We just need to pass the parameter now. So we'll do input word. And now instead of calling it directly, we're calling it via the delegate, because it's referencing this method right here. So I could actually take this out and now run in the program, and it will give me all the translations again. And see, we have Klingon there, because this is just like invoking the toKlingon method. You're invoking the delegate, and it's referencing the toKlingon method, so you're actually calling that method and adding the parameter word to it. So take that out, and now we can do the same for all three of these. So let's do the same for all three of these. We can now say language now equals to Romulan. I want to do that. And then invoke it here with the word that we typed at top. And then now assign it to Cardassian. Do the same thing. So now when we run it again, we should still get all the translations. So it's like we're first calling this method to Klingon, and then now we're going to be calling the to Romulan method, and now we're assigning it to Cardassian, so now we're calling the to Cardassian method. But there is an easier way to do that than doing it this way. So the beauty of this is that this is called abstract and encapsulating a method. So that's what this functionality is here. And it's the most used and important part of delegates, is defining the abstract pointer and then storing a reference to a method, one or more methods, as we did here. Now, another thing that's important about delegates is multicasting delegates, where you can reference multiple methods in one delegate and have them call all the methods at once sequentially. So what we do here is, I'm just going to blank this out, comment it out, and then I'm going to assign the Klingon, then the Romulan, and then the Cardassian methods to that same delegate, and then just do a call to that delegate so that all three of them print out sequentially. So, and to do that, I would use the plus and equals operator. And for the Cardassian, same thing. So what we have here now is the language reference. The language delegate now references all three of these methods, and we only have to call it once, invoke it once, with the word that we want translated. Oh, sorry, it's input word. And so now what's going to happen is it's going to call each of these methods sequentially, and so that because now the delegate references all three of these methods. You can see it run, it hits all three methods. So now let's pretend, or let's change the signature of one of the methods and see why it's important that they have the same signature. So if I go ahead and change the toKlingon to an integer, and we'll just call it a number, you'll see that we cannot assign it to the delegate. The delegate cannot reference this method because it does not have the same signature. This is an int parameter, and the delegate is expecting a string parameter. So we can just change this back to a string, and we can even keep the name number if you want to. It doesn't really care what the actual variable name is. And so, and then it will call these three functions again, reference these three functions, and print out each of these sequentially. So that's called multicasting, and it can help shorten your code a little bit, and is another way of using delegates. There's other methods or reasons for using delegates as well that I'm going to explain in other videos. One is using it as a callback mechanism. Another is asynchronous processing, where you can use a begin invoke on your delegate and call it asynchronously, and then when the delegate when you use it in end invoke, the delegate returns the results back to the caller when it's complete. So you can keep running the main method while the asynchronous method is running in the background. Another one, which is one of my favorites, is the using it with events with a broadcaster and subscriber. We'll be starting that probably in the next video, where we will have a program that is like a Star Trek simulator, and it will fire a torpedo, and if it hits a Klingon ship, the Klingon ship will respond back saying it was hit and damaged. So that will be using the events, broadcaster, and subscriber way of using delegates. So I hope you liked this video. I hope it helped you understand delegates. And if you already kind of know what delegates are, I hope it helped you explain a little bit further. If you have any questions, please leave them below, and please give me a like if you like this video, or if you can think of ways that I can improve, please let me know below as well. Or if you think I did awesome, let me know. Thanks.